What will the redevelopment of Orange mean for residents? I'm Jill Horner. This is Comcast Newsmakers. With me this hour is Mayor Eldridge Hawkins of the City of Orange Township. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you for having me again.
Let's first start by talking about the Quality of Life Task Force that you put together when you were first elected. What was the goal of that task force?
Well, the goal of the task force was to bring all the enforcement authority of the City of Orange Township together in one place to provide the best possible service to the residents. We saw that one of the breakdowns was that some departments were having trouble communicating with other departments. So we figured if we bring them all together under the task force and take them to the most blighted and troubled sections of town or wherever we're having the most complaints from residents, we'd be able to get a quicker response and more effectively address those concerns.
So some of those concerns were related to housing, and
yes.
Out of this task force came a redevelopment authority. What was that authority tasked with doing?
Well, what we did actually, we took the Quality of Life Task Force to the Walter G. Alexander housing complex. While there were a lot of good people in there, it was also a center for a lot of crime, and it was a blight on our community. So when I campaigned, I went in there and spoke to the residents, and they asked that I do whatever I could to help get them relocated should I be successful in getting elected, which I was. So I brought the task force there after that, and we went door to door to every room or every apartment in that building, spoke with the residents, met them, documented what was there, and we consequently partnered with the Housing Authority to depopulate those structures. And we successfully got all the residents Section 8 vouchers, and they were able to take those and relocate anywhere they wanted in the area, not just in Orange, but surrounding areas. And from that, we've managed to demolish those towers. Part of it is still standing, but it's an ongoing process. And we'll be replacing it with new housing.
So let's talk a little bit about how that housing will actually work, because this is going to be done in 3 phases and for 3 different types of families, individuals. Yes. Give us an idea as to what will be included.
Okay. Well, we're very excited about this because this is really going to improve this area overall. There's 3 great phases that we're having come in there. We're slated to have 1 phase that's family housing, a 2nd phase that's senior housing, and a 3rd phase that is market rate. And what it will look like is 2 to 3-story townhomes. And what's even better is that where the Housing Authority did not pay taxes as a government entity, what will replace it will bring ratables into the city and broaden our tax base, which is critical during these tough economic times.
So these will be townhomes up for sale?
Yes. Yes. So it's definitely going to be a big boost to the residents and our tax base. And while some of the residents may come back, we would allow that. Certainly that we welcome all residents in Orange that were in Orange to try and come back and seek housing there. But we also want to add to our demographic, which is why we have a variety of different forms of housing that we're trying to bring in there.
Now, you mentioned that part of the Walter G. Alexander housing complex is actually still standing. So what then is the timeline for creating this new housing?
Well, we believe that hopefully if the Housing Authority continues at the current pace, that the whole project's area will be demolished by the wintertime. Now, the redevelopment of that site is predicated in part on funding that we're able to secure. So we have to work with our state, county, and federal officials and our Housing Authority to try to lobby to get these fundings to actually rebuild this site. So in order to give you an exact timeline, we'd have to really have a crystal ball, so to speak, to say we're going to have this funding, by X date, but we don't know that. All we can say is that we're going to continue to lobby and try to get these dollars so that hopefully within the next 2 years or so we can see some movement as it relates to rebuilding this site.
So what will this site and the redevelopment of the site mean for residents and the community as a whole?
Well, as a community as a whole, this was probably, this was the last major public housing complex that we had that was a site that was really relegated to a lot of crime. So by bringing those down, we've actually dispersed a lot of crime from the area, which is going to improve the market value of the homes surrounding that area. And we're trying to really make Orange a destination city with a place of renewed development. We have 2 train stations in town, which make us great for a commute to the city. We're only 15 minutes away. Route 280 comes right through, so we're really working on revitalizing the whole town.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
We've been talking with Mayor Eldridge Hawkins. I'm Jill Horner.